As you might have seen from the page, we are Ryan and Angel Brown. And I thought maybe we could just do introductions first, just so we know who we're chatting with all morning. But we are fairly new to our full-time RVing in general. So we're just excited to be able to glean from you guys as well. But Ryan is an avid researcher of anything he's interested in or anything I'm interested in. And so he has done quite a bit of researching in this category. So I think he will be really helpful. And I'm just here for moral support along on the journey. But we launched full-time on November 1st from Dallas, Texas. And
not Dallas.
East of Dallas, Texas.
It's not Dallas. It's east of Dallas.
Rockwall, Royce City area, if you know the area.
I don't claim Dallas. It's a crap hole.
We have 3 kiddos that are currently being quiet in our bedroom, 14, 8, and 6. And Ryan currently still teaches full-time in the public school system in Mesquite, Texas. So when he is done on June 1st, we are heading out to our first work camping position in Colorado. And we'll be basically boondocking for 4 months. So that is us currently. Just tell us a little bit of who you are before we start talking about work camping more. Maybe tell us who you are, if you've work camped before, how long you've been full-timing.
Elaine, you want to start?
She might be on mute.
She is.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Am I back? Okay.
Yeah.
We're from New Hampshire, and we launched in 2017. We were on the road for about a year and came back because our renter decided to go full-time. And so we came back to our house for the summer. Then I had a stroke, and so we stayed for a while to do our my rehab and stuff. Mm-hmm. So last year we were on the road off and on. Mm-hmm. And then we stopped for the winter, and then we're about to go out full-time again last month, but then all this stuff happened. So we decided to stay and wait it out. So we're still here in New Hampshire, and it was nice.
Wow.
And now it's not.
It's a beautiful view though from here.
Yeah, we have 7 acres. So if anybody wants to boondoggle or something, or we do have a 30 amp. You're welcome to come and visit. And we have not work camped at all. So it's something that I'd be interested in for the future, but it's not something we've done so far because we both had. My husband still has he's a college professor, so he's still working, and I was doing telehealth, so I was remote, so we didn't really need to do anything like that, but eventually we will.
Cool.
All right.
Well,
great.
Welcome.
Good morning. Andy?
Andy, go ahead, man.
Okay, let's see. In our rig, so we're full-timing. My family is myself, my wife, and my 9-year-old daughter. We're homeschooling. We're currently about 2 hours north of Dallas right now on Lake Texoma.
Yeah.
We were in Alabama or Tennessee when things started shutting down, and so we found a really good rate, like $450 a month at this RV resort on a lake. Mm-hmm. And they have like 30 sites, but there's always only like 6 or 7 rigs here, so it's very peaceful, and
nice.
There's fishing, and it's very, very nice. We're very lucky that we can kind of hang out here while the pandemic winds down.
Right.
We're not doing any work camping. My wife and I, we provide services, education services to families overseas. We have English teachers and native English speaking teachers in a few countries. that they connect one-on-one with students mainly in China or in Asian countries to teach English one-on-one. And we also help bring students from overseas to the United States, attend university or get intensive English classes, attend high school. And one thing that's kind of funny is that year over year, more and more families are bringing students younger and younger to study in the United States. And 2 weeks ago, we were successful in getting a first grade student accepted to a Christian school outside Seattle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but we're always open to the idea of finding some other way of earning our keep, and work camping is something that we're exploring.
So with y'all's work, can you do that from anywhere?
Yeah, because so we have a few virtual assistants in overseas and around the United States. And most of the work that we have to do is it's just working with the school, helping families complete their school applications, the visa applications, and kind of coaching and mentoring them through, the end-to-end process, and kind of like simplifying a lot of the complexity.
Oh, cool. That's really neat.
Yeah, as long as we have internet access.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
It's
Yeah.
key, huh? All right.
All right. Well, welcome aboard.
Good to
Thank
have
you.
you.
Tyler, you're up.
Hi. Sorry, he's cooking.
Hello.
So I'll introduce us. I'm Amy and Tyler. We have 3 kids. Blake is 6.5, Bryn is 3.5, and Brooke is 12 weeks old.
Oh.
So
Congratulations.
thank you. We are new to full-time families and also new to traveling in a motorhome because we haven't officially launched. We were supposed to launch last Friday.
Oh, bless your heart.
With the circumstances, we are home at our sticks and bricks, so we're safe and grateful for that.
Right.
And just hang on 1 second. I'm sorry. Come here.
Oh, you're fine.
We're just gonna wait it out. We did buy our rig in August though, and we were fortunate to take a couple extended vacations, if you will. We did 13 days up to Vermont and Maine in September, October, and then we did 17 days down to Florida and up to South Carolina in November. So we at least got our feet wet, got used to our rig a little bit, and we're actually hoping to upgrade in the fall. We love it. We saw what it was like to, hopefully sooner. We're working out some numbers last night, but we did get to see what the lifestyle was like, just a little glimpse of it, and it was like what my dreams were. It was reality coming true, and breaking down and
Oh, yeah. That's normal.
and everybody came together. We had help that we I don't think ever would have seen if we were home and had a problem with our house or something.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it was really, really appreciated. Our 6-year-old's having a really tough time that we didn't launch. So it's nice to know that the whole family's looking forward to it. Tyler's a union electrician. So the goal is to find work, kind of be flexible as to where we go and follow where the work is. Obviously, the pay is very different in different areas of the country, so we have to make sure that that's going to match our budget. And then, some weeks maybe if he's in between a job, all right, we'll drive through this area. Maybe it's not great for us to actually work there, but you take that as a vacation week or just your off week, or 2, whatever it might be. How if we save up, go a little longer, and then pick back up. I'm a piano teacher, so I have the flexibility. I've been teaching for 15, almost 16 years.
Oh, wow.
So can luckily teach online that
cool.
students I've had for a long time. And
Yeah.
I really love in-person lessons, and I've had a studio, but I'd rather travel and let the kids see the world and expand my own mind that way too. So work camping, I followed some different groups, even internationally, for a while. When I studied abroad in Australia in 2007 and then again in 2009, I met people that were there doing it on farms and different things. And I was young, but very intrigued by that way of life.
Yeah.
So we don't know much about it. And I don't know if you're going to go over this, but I do have a question when you get to it.
Okay.
It's boondocking only, or if they have service hookups, and how that aspect of it all works. So we're looking forward to learning, and thank you for doing this today.
Of
Sure,
course.
absolutely. Glad you're here.
Wonderful.
All right, who we got next? Jennifer?
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Give us a little
Peterson.
rundown on who you are and all that. Just give us a little
All right.
rundown on you.
Well, I'm Jennifer Peterson. My husband is Bodie, and we're traveling with our daughter. She's 10 years old. We've been living full-time RV life for about 2.5 years. We've been with FTF for about just over a year. My husband's currently working for the Utah Air National Guard,
Okay.
and he's looking to retire soon. And
Nice.
we're building an
Congratulations.
Amazon
Yeah.
business to support life on the road. Hopefully we can get it built up enough to do that. Just wanted to learn a little bit more about work camping, what it is, how it works.
Okay.
Cool. We will do the best we can to provide you with some information. We ourselves, we have our very first work camping position coming up in June. So we're
Okay.
fairly new to it as well, but I've done a lot of research and found some websites, and I've talked to people. I do research. It's actually kind of ridiculous the amount of research I do on things, but I do research because I like to do research. It's fun for me. And she doesn't do research on things like this, so it works out quite well. She'll do research on other things, but not on this type of stuff. So hopefully we can answer some questions. And if y'all do have a question throughout this, or something pops in your head, you can. There's a little chat bar on the right-hand side. You can punch it into the chat bar, or just.
Can we all see it if they put it in the chat bar?
Yeah,
Okay.
everybody can see the chat bar.
Or just wave.
Or just wave, or just say, hey, I got a question, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. But anyways, we'll try and get after some of this information and kind of go from there. So for us, our work camping position that we have up in Colorado, we found it. It was really kind of strange. We found it kind of secondhand. I'd emailed a guy before about a work camping position in Colorado. I just saw it on a website somewhere. I don't even remember where I saw it. And so I emailed him, and he called me. He said, hey, I'll give you a call back later. We're over in some place. I'll give you a call back next week. And I was like, okay. Never heard from the guy. And then about 2-3 weeks after that, another guy got my name from him, and he called me and said, hey, we have this position up in Colorado, and it is a boondocking position, but it pays. The site's free. It's a fairly small campground. They do provide certain things for you, and that's going to vary from camp place to camp place. Hang on. What, Mason?
No, he just wants to switch charger.
I don't. Sorry.
Ask Dylan, buddy.
Ask Dylan. Sorry. So our spot in particular doesn't really have it doesn't have hookups at all, right? But the company, they don't put this on their website or anything, but this is done through the guy that manages all this. He provides fuel for the generator. If you have a generator, he provides like $5 or 5 gallons of fuel per week. They do deliver water out to you
Twice a week.
once, twice a week. Really, just if you need more, they'll bring it to you, type thing. So it varies. What I'm finding is it varies a lot as far as if it's paid, if you're just trading work for the site itself. So that's something that you have to look at whenever you're getting into any of these websites or these job postings, is see how do they compensate you. You don't want to think you're going to get paid and not get paid. And for us up in Colorado, this place, it's called Camp Hale Memorial.
What company is this one through?
We found this one through CLM, which is California Land Management. They have a whole bunch of different
It's
campsites.
obviously not just
It's not California.
California.
It's California, Colorado, Utah, Arizona. I think Seattle, or not Seattle, but Washington State's up there. I think Oregon's in it as well. So they manage quite a large chunk of the country, and they have hundreds of different campgrounds. But this one in particular, there's no hookups, no water, nothing like that. It's fairly simple work because it's a small site. It's about 21 sites. And our job would be to check in the people, check the campgrounds, make sure people aren't being crazy, you know, just camp hosting essentially. And then
yeah, for those of you that have been full-time, you know, whenever you pull up to a camp, there's usually a camp host, and it's a person or a family that's living there. They're just like you. They're living in their RV, but maybe they have a few more amenities than everybody else, or they're set up and they look like they're going to be there for a while. And that's going to be us. That's the camp host, and we'll get to ride around on our little side by side and check on people, make sure they've checked in where they're supposed to be, make sure they leave when they're supposed to, keep it tidy, clean up the bathrooms a couple times a day. And then even just tell them about the area, and if they have a question about a trail or anything like that. I mean, it's perfect for our personalities, wanting to get to meet people as they show up and having some social aspect to things. And then also it fits his wheelhouse of being able to take care of everything. And then it gives us the freedom. They guarantee 2 days off at this one. So I think what he's wanting to emphasize, though, is that every work camping position is completely different. Even within this same company, CLM, they have all different types of positions, or they have all different. Each campsite is different. Some will have full hookups. Some will have 30 amps. Some won't have dumping, but they will have water and electric. I mean, it's just, you just kind of have to check with every single position exactly what is being offered. Hourly rates are different. This one in particular goes by whatever the state's minimum wage is. So even though it's CLM, they'll pay more for California than they are for Colorado, etc., just based on the hourly rate for that state. And then everyone offers different types of amenities, maybe to compensate for that, like the water and the propane or the gas, or some will offer a discount on your site instead of actually giving you a free site. So all of those things vary, and you just kind of have to decide, you know, what your priorities are. For us, getting to save this summer while he's still getting paid at his teaching job, it was totally worth boondocking for us for a few months so that we can just save up and get paid a little extra. Also, it doesn't hurt to ask. When Ryan was interviewing, the gentleman said that I could go ahead and be on the interview call, and he let me offer to split those hours with him if I want to. So he even put me on the payroll. I filled out an application and put me on payroll so that we can split the duties if we want to, which is kind of nice if he's not feeling well or something, or if he has too much on his plate that day and I want to help lighten the load, I can. And I kind of love that. So it doesn't hurt to ask, because I just flat out said, can we split these hours? And he said, why not, I guess. So I didn't mean to take over, but I just wanted to fill in a few little.
Jumped all over that.
Keep going. I want to fill in a few little spots where I had questions.
So for us, and what's crazy is with what's going on, like with the this COVID thing and campgrounds getting closed and whatnot, so much of it is still in flux. So I've kind of planned for a plan B, plan C type thing. I'm putting some other irons in the fire as far as filling out applications and talking to people. And just in case something happens or something falls through, we do have a backup plan as far as work camping goes. And what I'll do, we'll figure out some way to put these websites. I know a bunch of them are on the work camping branch that we moderate, but I found a couple more that I can add to that Facebook page as well. Tyler, as far as payments work, I think with the one we're doing, it's going to vary from company to company. Mm-hmm. But I think the one that we're doing is every 2 weeks, I believe.
Direct deposit. Direct
deposit every 2 weeks. We did have to fill out tax information on the form and everything, on the, what is it called? The application. I had to fill out, the application. I had to fill out 1099 information, tax information, address information, all that. So it's on the up and up, and that's just that one. And really, what do you mean, does it fluctuate? Does what fluctuate? The pay? You can unmute and ask, Tyler.
Sorry. I guess does it fluctuate if you're, you know, an actual employee or independent contractor from place to place? And I'd imagine you could be, especially depending on the state and state law as well with that.
Yeah, like this one, the one we're doing is $12 an hour. It's not a whole lot, but you know, it'll sustain on top of my teacher pay that I get currently as well for a little while. So that'll allow us to kind of double dip, if you will. And I've looked at other places. I found another spot, another park essentially that pays $14 an hour and has more hours, and that's going to vary as well as far as the hours that they'll give you to work. Some will do 20 hours a week, some will do 24, some will do 30, some will do 40. It just depends on the place.
Some require a couple.
Some require couples, some require singles.
Oh, and always make sure you ask or put it up front that you have children.
Yes.
A lot of them realize nowadays that there are kids included, but it's always good to just be completely upfront with, you know, Ryan and Angel, we have 3 children. And just so that they know that in the back of their head. A lot of them are prepared for that because this full-time family is becoming a thing, is definitely a thing. But us, we weighed the different pros and cons, and the fact that the site is free makes a huge difference. $12 an hour, but free site, $14 an hour, but it's $700 a month, you know? So that he's talking about the Jellystone, I think. Is that what you're
I hadn't mentioned Jellystone specifically, no.
Oh, Michelle has joined us.
Hello, Michelle.
Good morning, Michelle.
At CLM, Michelle just asked how many hours we're working at CLM, which is the one that we're working through
in October,
in June.
Colorado.
It's 30 hours a week. So I can do 20, she can do 10, I can do 30, she can do 0. We were able to get them to split it, put her on the payroll, and allow us to split the hours.
If we want to.
If we want to. If she don't want to do it, then we ain't got to. I can do all the work. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me.
Well, do we see Michelle?
No, I got to get the grid view.
Okay. Michelle and Nate are actually going to be working with CLM in Colorado at the same time as us. I think that's kind of, or maybe through Alana is how I first heard about CLM. So we're excited. That's kind of a neat thing too, when you start realizing you're going to have a position. I'm sure you guys maybe are used to that, but you can, you know, put the word out there on the full-time family members board and say, hey, I'm going to be in this area. And so we already did that with Michelle and Nate and with Alana, saying, hey, can we meet up? Because one of my concerns was feeling isolated or not having community. And so with CLM, they guarantee 2 days off in your week, which is really nice. So we know we can take little trips even while we'll be in this beautiful country. In Colorado, we'll be able to take little 2-day trips up to other parts of Colorado. We've already made a bucket list with the kids where we want to go and see, and like even spend a birthday at, you know, a lodge or an Airbnb or something. But we'll get to go and meet up with them and even share. We're sharing ideas and suggestions. Nate already has all kinds of knowledge and solar panels, so he's been talking with Ryan about that. So that's exciting what the community provides too, that you can connect with each other and not feel like you're doing this totally on your own. And that's kind of what we wanted this board to be for, so that we could connect with each other, meet up with each other, share ideas or information. I mean, there's more jobs than we're ever going to need by ourselves. So we want to be able to share. Right now, I think someone just posted, if y'all haven't seen, the Jellystone opportunity. And we already found out that you can bring your kids with you. So that's really cool. The kids will get to do all of the activities and the amenities. And
you had a good question. What's the commitment time? It just depends. Some of them are seasonal, like they'll run the summer season, like from May to October. A lot of that depends on your location. If you're up in the mountains and stuff like that, the season will end. Summer season will end a little earlier because of inclement weather that comes through there. And then you'll find some that can eventually turn into full-time, like full-time positions. I've seen a couple down in Florida that they'll post as seasonal, but it'll say also on there with option to do this full-time, you know, the whole year or whatever, year long. So the commitments vary as well. The pay varies, the commitments vary, the locations vary, the jobs that you can do vary. We did, like this one, we're doing camp hosting. The one at the Jellystone up in Colorado that I looked at, it's got groundskeepers, it's got maintenance, it's got activities coordinators, it's got cooks, it's got so many different options, and a lot of it just depends on what you want to do. Let's see, be careful to the details. I saw one advertised for a couple 40 hours a week, but when I inquired, it was 40 hours per person.
Yeah.
Yes, always very good point,
no
Elaine.
Pay is
very
a big
good
one too.
point.
A lot are.
And yeah, some of them, they don't offer you pay. They say, look, we're so nice. We're letting you have this beautiful site and free electricity and free water and free sewage. That's good enough. So you gotta.
And it might be a lot of Florida ones are free site, with all the hookups and all the amenities that they might even offer at the resort. But it's considered a volunteer position, but you still have to be hired, and it's still from a start date to an end date. But you'll get to stay for free. So that, that'll alleviate some costs, or maybe that is your plan. Maybe you're wanting to go to Florida for the winter season, and you'll get to have your site there for free, and you'll get to enjoy the beaches, but there won't be any income coming in. So those are the things you have to, consider. If you're planning on going to Florida anyways, and you have the income built in somewhere else, then you could get a free site and save some money there.
See, for us, I really wanted something that would pay. So that's just something you got to look for. And some of these sites that you find these jobs on, you can filter it down to paid sites, including sites and stuff like that, including electricity. So there's ways to filter it down and find different, how they compensate you for each one of these jobs. And again, on the Workamping branch, there's a list of websites that we compiled that has all this information on there as well. It's a bit of a rabbit hole as far as when you start looking for a job, you start looking on a website. You can really go far and find out a bunch about these different companies.
I think Michelle said that her and Nate, it's 30 hours each per week, and they're with the same company. They're actually just about an hour and a half away from us when they get there. A cool thing about CLM, they'll bring you there and they do the training all together for their season. Everyone trains together at one particular location, and then they send you out to your individual campsites for the season. So you get training included. Michelle, did you guys want to say good morning and say hi? We kind of did introductions already. And I think I see an AKUSA. You want to say hi and
introduce yourselves?
You don't have to. I only see little dots, so maybe you weren't prepared. I want to put you on the spot.
Yes, I can talk. I honestly just woke up, so that's why I was like, I'm not turning on my camera, but I'm going to come listen to you. And Nate's not here with me, but and my 7-year-old sitting next to me because that's life. My name is Michelle, and my husband Nate. This is going to be our first season work camping, but we're pretty excited. Like Angel and Ryan said, we're going to be with CLM. We had actually heard about the position last summer when they were filling it mid-year, and we needed someone. Hold on a sec.
You're fine.
Wait, hold on. And we decided they needed someone to come like mid-August. We were across the country, so we said no, but another full-time family ended up taking it. So when we were looking at new positions in the fall, we knew that we wanted to work camp. So we started looking very early. Like Nate started working on his resume in September. And we were looking at positions in October. And then we had accepted this by November. But we were looking for a position that paid hourly, plus we actually really wanted a free spot because it seemed like a lot of the other ones that we were looking at, the compensation wasn't that good by the time you considered, if they said, oh, you're going to work 20 hours each a week for your spot, and then you'll get paid $12 or $14 an hour afterwards. Yeah. Well, then it worked out that your hourly rate was, $2 an hour, $5 an hour. So it was a little harder, but we kept looking. Nate especially really wanted to try to get on, honestly, with the national parks. Both of us would love to be national park rangers, but that's really hard. So he knows someone who works with them, and like there's a whole different resume you have to do, and it's hard to get on. He did have some luck with the state parks, specifically in Oregon and Washington. He actually got a few different job calls, but they were slower, so we had already accepted our position. So that's kind of what we're doing this summer. We're going to be up in Breckenridge on Lake Dillon. We have another full-time family coming that's going to be at the same campground. So we're looking forward to that. It's a pretty busy campground, I've heard, and a pretty popular area. So we're hoping we'll start on June 1st.
So that's cool. With Michelle's, they actually require 2 sets of hosts so that you guys can split the job, right?
Yeah, so my understanding is that I can't remember how many spots it is, but it's a pretty big campground. So there's like 2 different sections. So each of us are there working, let's see, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then Nate and I are going to have Wednesday, Thursday off because we requested that because of some family stuff. And then Alana and Eric will have Monday, Tuesday off. Nice. But then on the other days, we can kind of cover each other. So like if, Nate and I want to go out to dinner one day, we can just say, hey, Eric and Alana, could you cover for us for these couple hours, and kind of go back and forth. So that should be fun. Awesome. And then we have similarly aged kids too. So they have a teen girl, we have a teen girl, they have 2 boys, we have a boy. So hopefully the kids will have someone to play with all summer. So
awesome.
Yeah.
And we've got AKUSA.
I really don't know how to change the name. Our travel name is AK to the USA, and I'm like, hi, I'm Nikki Parrish, and I'm sorry, instead of kids, I have a dog barking because apparently he's just really struggling with the quarantine life.
Struggle is real.
It's so real. I left the door open, and
we can't hear him at all.
Just so he can look outside, and I'm like, be quiet. It's fine.
You're fine. We can't hear him.
Okay. What to say? I don't know what to say.
Where are you from?
We're from Alaska, and I have my husband Joshua and my 2 boys Riley and Liam, and we've never work camped because we've been on the road for 2 years. We launched in 2018. My husband flies back to Alaska every 2 weeks for work. So really, I would one day like to experience work camping in the event, just to get the experience in, if anything were to ever happen to him, or just as extra income coming in. So we kind of do the planes, trains, and automobile experience. Is that the right way to say it? But yeah, so I just I don't know what else to say. That's pretty much it. I'm so thankful that you guys are hosting this talk, because there's so much info from all of you. It's just really amazing. So much appreciation.
Absolutely.
No, baby, we
need the Wi-Fi.
Every bit of the Wi-Fi. Our 6-year-old is wanting to use the Wi-Fi. Sorry.
We're almost done in about 20 minutes. You're gonna have to wait, Bo. Okay.
Sorry, y'all.
Tough life.
Okay, so I heard somebody touch on resume, and I wanted to mention that I was super nervous with resumes. I personally hadn't filled one out, updated one since my 14-year-old was born. And Ryan's is entirely geared towards teaching because he teaches public school right now. So I think it was Alana. She's not on here either. She's going to be camp hosting with Michelle Brown and Nate. But she messaged me and just said, just send them your resume. Whatever you have, just don't be afraid. Just send it. It couldn't hurt. So that was the first little push to just go ahead and send it, because a lot of these positions are seasonal. They fill up quickly at a certain time. They're needing to and people are sending them. So you just go ahead and bite the bullet and jump in, and just don't let that be the one thing holding you back. I mean, it couldn't hurt. You might get a call like we did. For us, I did hesitate, like, what am I going to send? And it took too long. And a lot of the positions with, like, even Michelle had posted that they were looking for a co-host, and we missed that position because I was hesitating and too nervous about not having an application or a resume. But we just happened to get, Ryan had sent in his, and we happened to get that call that they had a last minute opening, unexpected opening. So I like the idea with CLM that we're getting our, even though it's completely boondocking, and that's kind of terrifying because we're so new, and it's for 4 months boondocking. We're kind of nervous, let's be honest, but it's getting our feet in the door with CLM. And I feel like when we build a rapport with them, they have so many positions that will be kind of first on the list for next season, and we might have full hookups next time. I think Michelle and Nate have almost full hookups. So I did after that, I went ahead and tweaked a resume. It doesn't hurt to make one just almost look jack of all trades. Like Ryan is a jack of all trades before teaching. So just kind of, I even almost created what would be like a cover letter on my resume, kind of an about me section of just, I haven't had any actual work experience in 14 years as far as paid positions. So I kind of made it about me, like my strengths and skills, and that seems to be doing the trick. Do we have any other questions or feedback? Anybody else have some feedback or questions or more that we can fill in here? What have we got?
You are talking, was Michelle, I think it was Michelle who said something about wanting to work in the national park. And my friend who was renting for us before she decided to go full time, her very first work camping position is in the national park system. It's not at a official, well, it is an official park, but it's not like Yellowstone or something. It's at a wildlife refuge that's part of the park system. And so she gets housing for that, which is a site. They also have mobile homes and dorms that they provide, and you have a position to. Hers was a volunteer position, so but through that position, she was able to train to run the ferry because they have part of their refuge is Bulls Island. This is in South Carolina. And so she was able to get hours running the ferry to earn money while she's also doing her hours for her site and all of that. But I also know because one of my sons, who's 20, he wants to be a national park ranger. Really hard to get in there because people don't tend to retire from those jobs. But what we found was that they have no, I can't get the word out. Concession companies. So you can go in and you can look at where you want to be, and it will show you what jobs that they have, and like some of them have housing included, and you can work like in the cafe or the gift shop, or if they have a laundromat, like at Grand Tetons, they have a laundromat and showers, so they need people to work in that area. So there's a lot of different positions that you can get to actually work in the national park, but it's not doing the ranger stuff.
Yeah.
Gift shop and.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of posts like that say they need someone to work the front office. They need somebody to work the groundskeeping, the maintenance of the vehicles or whatever. And there's so many different options. There's so many different jobs out there that people need to fill. She was talking to somebody the other day that they got a work camping job on a food truck.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool. That'd be pretty sweet, you know? Amazon Workforce is another one as well. if you don't know what the Amazon Camper Force, if you haven't heard of that, those are seasonal positions for Amazon. They give you a site, they give you pay, benefits, all these things for your seasonal times that Amazon's busy, like Thanksgiving, Christmas time frame, and so forth, the holiday season. And so there's those positions available too. And I did some research on that, and some people said that it was great. Some people said that it sucked.
Well,
it just depends on.
It's all footwork.
Yeah, you're on your feet all day.
So, because Amazon has realized that the camper.
Harvest, yes.
What?
The beet harvest, yeah.
Yeah, I put that on here. The camper world is just as huge to be able to service, and so they needed people on foot delivering packages to RV sites at campsites. Yeah, so they actually, I know that Amazon is so genius, and so they actually target large RV areas, and that's where the positions are at. So it's not nationwide; it's in specific little pods where it's a big cluster of RVs. And it's seasonal, and then you get the big delivery, and you go deliver to everyone's doorstep or to the main office if there is one. So I've heard that it can be a beating because it's a lot of, like, you're carrying packages all over the place on foot all day. So it's exhausting, but apparently it's a good position. They pay for your site and they pay hourly, and Amazon knows what they're doing. So beet,
the sugar beet harvest, I've read about that.
That's seasonal also.
That's seasonal. I think it's coming up here soon, actually, and from what I read, and some of the people that work these things can make some serious money. Is it October? Okay, so what is it? Where are we at right now? What is this? April?
What month? I don't know.
So it's not coming up at all. I don't even know what it is anymore. We're like there is no more days of the week or months or anything. It's just today, yesterday, tomorrow. That's all it is.
Corona month.
Yeah,
Groundhog's Day.
We're on a different type of living time frame now. But yeah, I've heard a lot of people that have worked the sugar beet harvest up there can make some serious money, like a couple $1,000s within a couple weeks. I mean, pretty. But it's was a $4,500 for the season, but that varies. Yeah. I think it's still 2020. I don't know what it is right now. 2020, I have no idea.
Officially the longest year in our calendar.
April has been the longest year ever.
March. April?
Uh-huh. Exactly. April has been a long one.
Food truck. Yeah, so work camping, man, the sky's the limit.
It really is.
If you've thought of a seasonal position, or if it can help pay for your campsite, and it can be something that you can come and go to, then that's pretty much considered work camping. And it doesn't hurt to ask if there's a dream job or you see someone doing something and like if college students are doing it, you can always ask, would you hire us seasonally? I mean, that's work camping. I think more and more positions are opening up to that opportunity, that possibility, especially if they're in a typical campsite RV area. I think even working like a snow cone stand. I don't know what that would pay.
When I first started thinking about work camping, what I had in mind was the people at the entrance to the parks.
Camp host.
The camp hosts that check you in and so forth. And they drive around on their golf cart and pick up trash or clear out the leaves or whatever. That's what I thought it was. And then the more and more I dug into it, the more and more I found there's just tons of different jobs all over the country. Available. It just depends on what kind of work you might want to do or not do. And this one place, I found another website that has a ton of work camping positions on it as well. It's called Sun RV Resorts.
Oh, that's the Jellystone.
It's more than just Jellystone. Sun RV Resort. All right. And they have tons of different places all over the country as well. Jellystone parks. In particular, there's one in Colorado I was looking at, and they pay $14 per hour. It's a 40-hour week. And they pay for every hour you work, they credit $2 towards the site payment. And the site payment is a full hookup, 50 amp, sewage, all that fun stuff.
And usually lots of amenities.
And the whole park itself, you have access to the entire Jellystone Park, which is like a big water park and activities park and so forth. and the site itself is like $700, but they credit $2 every hour you work towards your site payment. So at the end of the month, you may only have to pay, $300 or something for the site itself. So kind of works out. So that's something else to think about as well. Do they credit your site for your hours worked or whatever? It's a lot. There's a lot of information out there.
What's that one page that you've subscribed to?
Workcamper News or workcamper.com is another one. Tyler, the websites, there's a list of websites on the Full-Time Families Work Camping branch.
It's in the files.
Yeah, it's
right?
in the files, I believe. That gives you a list of different work camping websites and so forth. So
yeah, and then he did subscribe to that. We haven't paid for the subscription, but for Work Camper News.
Yeah.
But they are constantly emailing positions that they've heard about, and they've been doing it for long enough that they get firsthand information on work camping positions. So it's definitely worth it. And we've heard that people that do the paid subscription find out about them first, and these are first come first serve. So
yeah, Work Camper News or workcamper.com.
Paid one had a lot more opportunities.
One thing that I found, I took the free route for the Work Camper newsletter or whatever because it's free and I like free. And come to find out, the jobs that they send out to you via email are jobs that were posted about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So the jobs you're seeing could already be filled when they show up in your email. Yeah. But if you get the paid membership, which is like $70, $80 a year, something like that, then you get the job postings immediately. So there's something to think about as well.
They're doing all that legwork and looking for them. Yeah. So that's might be worth it.
Trying to think of what else. Do y'all have any other questions or any?
Michelle said it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, you're probably right, Michelle. I'm just cheap.
It's not a bad way to go right now, though. Any other questions?
Thoughts, concerns,
comments,
complaints, allergic reactions, moral disagreements? No?
I don't know that we need to get into those right now.
That's what my college professor used to say.
Nate got his as part of one of the other memberships were cheap too. Okay. Of course. Thank you, Andy. We appreciate you guys jumping on and joining us this morning.
And, for the...
Stephanie.
Oh, go ahead, Stephanie. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was just going to say to make sure you join the branch. The link that I posted, the Full-Time Families branch, and that way we can get information there out to you guys. There's a lot of information in the files, and then ask questions, and it's a great place for us to kind of share work opportunities that are specifically geared towards families or that are family friendly. Not all of them are, but there's so many opportunities out there. So it's a good place for us to kind of work off each other and share resources. So make sure you join the branch. Go ahead.
Alaska, no one talked about teens working, but I was looking at a thread the other day, and some places will allow teens to work. I think 15 or 16 is like the age. They can't work more than a certain number of hours, but that's definitely something that's out there. And I think you just have to ask. For us with CLM, our kids can't help us do the job. Liability, insurance reasons, and so forth. But some you can actually get them a job and they can work there while you're there as well.
Yeah, but they can be there. They absolutely know that we have the kids. But that's why I got hired on as well, so that we can, he said, even just liability reasons, I'm covered. If I'm riding on the side-by-side with him over to a site, then I'm covered because I am hired by them as well. So, but the kids are not covered insurance-wise, liability-wise, if they were to be with us heading towards a site while we're working. So the kids cannot come. They can be there. Work.
You good, Stephanie?
Yeah, I have another dog trying to jump in my lap.
Oh,
Yes.
Jellystone said they would hire a team to work. Is that the one you saw?
Yeah, that's the one I was looking at, Michelle.
Yeah.
That's exactly the one I was talking about.
And they said that our kids could come do activities, that the kiddos could participate in the events that, you know, that are happening during the day, as long as they weren't interfering with us doing our job, that they could totally be there.
Yeah. There's so much out there, and sometimes it just feels like I'm staring at a computer screen for hours, and because I research things and trying to find certain jobs. Because I mean, you can filter it down by state, you can filter it down by actual job position, you can do so many different things. Like I was focusing on like Colorado and or Florida. Those are my two that I was focusing on. And go ahead.
Yeah, so so I guess so Steve, my husband, we're not like working for a site per se. He did take a seasonal job this winter at Thousand Trails Orlando. And he just took a maintenance position just to kind of, he didn't really want to do maintenance, but it was a foot in the door. So now that he's in the system, it will allow him to be able to easily get hired at other Thousand Trails campgrounds.
Yeah.
And the Thousand Trails campgrounds, they each, because they're, even though they're a part of the big system, they each of them operate individually and on their own terms. So some parks will actually let you work for your site, or they'll offer your site as part of your compensation package, and then also pay you hourly. In our case, it didn't, but it gave us enough to pay for an annual site. So we took an annual site, which I'm kind of glad we have now.
Right.
And we got a break on electricity. So, but for us, he's still only working maybe 24 hours a week, and it still pays for the monthly annual spot plus some in our pocket. So it was worth it for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's something we wanted to do. I think for us, we want to, look at possibly a place maybe out west where we don't have our Thousand Trails camping membership to kind of support that, because we chose to use that for financial reasons. But kind of be in an area we really want to explore, but it's costly to stay in a campground. So I'm thinking, well, maybe we could find one spot for, a season and just be able to visit that and kind of explore that area while we're there. So
exactly.
And that's kind of our thinking too. We're looking at Colorado for the summer, and then possibly finding something down in Florida for the winter time or something like that. But again, I mean, there's just so many different opportunities out there from different companies and different big companies that have lots of campgrounds or individual campgrounds. It's a lot. There is a lot of opportunity out there.
I think the hardest part is sorting through all the information.
Yeah,
right?
you're absolutely right.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thank y'all for spending the last hour with us. If you have any questions, join us on the Work Camper branch page, because it's brand new. So it's kind of been a slow start, but we'd love to have you. And as we find out any more information, we post there and we share there, and we'll support each other there and encourage each other in the positions. And then we'll, I know that Michelle and Nate and Ryan and I will post as we're actually at our campsite this summer. And best luck to everybody in their Corona quarantines. Hopefully we all get to move on soon. See each other in person.
Yes. Thanks so much, guys, for coming on this morning and hosting and doing all the good stuff with us.
You bet.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Bye. Thanks, guys.
All right. Y'all have a good day.
You too. Good luck.
Thank you. Y'all too.
And